Hi, I'm Brian. I'm a U.S. consultant for the Tox Big Four. Today I'm going to show you my Spod or Spomb mix. Basically these are all the ingredients right here, and I'm going to be using a pressure cooker. This is the fastest and most effective way to make a mix. Usually the process of making a mix, you got to soak your seed for 2 days and then boil it, and you go through all these steps just to make a mix. From start to finish today, we'll be done probably about an hour and a half total time. And about 45 minutes of that, you don't even have to do anything. You're just waiting for the pressure to release out of the pressure cooker. So let's go through some of the ingredients. You're going to need a finer fish meal chow, some unprepared tiger nuts, dry milk, tuna corn. I'm using CC Moore Bloodworm range extract. That's just going to make the fish root up the mix that much more. I've been using that this year with a lot of success. We have some rice also. That's just going to mimic maggots. A little bit of salt, about a half a cup. I'll go over the full list with you, exactly how much to enter. Also, we're using about 90 ounces of water. The thing with the pressure cooker, you don't want to add too much because you want to have more liquid than you do seed. Also, we're having a wild bird seed that has like milo, cracked corn, wheat, a little bit of sunflower seed, not too much because it's oily. It's wintertime right now, so we're not trying to do too oily of a mix. The other product you can add in is going to be tuna. But I usually do that in the summer or late spring. Yeah, you can put it in now if you want, but I'm not showing that today. So let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab a heavier gauge bucket. This is very important because what happens when this comes out of the pressure cooker, it's gonna be a couple hundred degrees still. If you use a standard carp bucket, which we'll use later, it's gonna melt it. So go to like your local deli. See if they have any pickle buckets, and also you want a good sealing lid on it too. That'll hold the heat in later as well. So to start, this is a 5-gallon bucket. You can use any brand of sweet corn you want with the juice. You're just dumping it in. Make sure you get all of it out of there. Okay, we're empty. Next thing you want to put in is I'm using a half a cup of salt. All this is going to do is intensify the flavors. I'm putting the salt in now, that way it's going to dissolve. This is just a fine salt. I'm not using coarse salt or anything like that. So I'll mix that around here. Dump that in again. That was a half a cup of salt. Just get your spoon. Just mix it around so it starts to dissolve. Alright, it's already pretty much dissolved. That little of an amount dissolves very quickly. Next thing, we're using a dry milk. All this is going to do is cloud up the water. I'm using 1 cup of that. 1 cup of dry milk. So again, just spread it around. Just mix it up. It's just going to take on some of that liquid that is in the can. Okay, next thing we're doing the Aqua fish chow. I'm going to use a total of 4 cups. So this right here is 2 cups. Throw that in, and then I already had some on here just to show how small this is. It's just a real fine pellet. So that's a total of 4 cups. And again, we're just going to mix that a little bit. At this point, just mix it just to coat it. This is going to sit for about 45 minutes because we're going to show you what we're putting in our pressure cooker. So let me get all that spoon here. That'll start to take on some of the water, plus once we put our mix in later, there's going to be a little excess water, so that's going to break down that pellet also, kind of like how you do in match fishing. So, okay, let's get started with the other steps. So I'll move my bucket here, and we will get started. Okay, right here I have a 6-quart pressure cooker. The way the lid works, it'll go on and seal shut. There'll be a little, once it builds up pressure, there's a little popper on it. It'll come up so you know it's fully pressurized. once it pressurizes, I'll show you on the stove, but we'll go from here. Basically, I have 2 cups of hemp seed and then 2 cups of the bird seed right there. Again, there'll be a list of all the products and measurements later. So I'm just adding this in. And that's only going to fill up about 1.5 inches of this. Next step is I always add the water. That way, like when I add everything else, it'll kind of break it down. So I just measure these in half-gallon jugs. You're using 1 full half-gallon jug and then half of the other half-gallon jug. You're looking for a total of 90 ounces, or that'll be close to 3 liters. Okay. Alright, we'll put that in. And there's really no need to mix this either, because once this is pressurized, it's just going to circulate in here, so it's going to mix everything properly. Okay, let's see here. I make a little list here so you don't skip anything. I always print out, and I'll have an option for that later also. Half a cup of unprepared tiger nut, half a cup of rice. Doesn't matter what kind of rice. This is gonna, you'll be amazed how much this expands till we're all said and done. And it'll be fully prepared, safe for the carp. So we're just gonna put this in. Again, this is gonna represent like a maggot on the bottom. I try to do all different sizes and colors. That way the carp does not get fixated on one specific bait. I see a lot of people just putting hemp out. They get used to that certain size bait, whereas this is going to keep them searching and guessing. So just throw that in. Okay, that one's done. Next, this is something I've been playing around with this year. Like I said, this is a CC Moore Boosted Natural Range Bloodworm Extract. And roughly I'm going to put in 30 ml, so I just get the tablespoon out. But it doesn't overpower the bait. So that's 15 ml there. And 30. Make sure you get all that off your spoon. Okay, that's good. Put this back on. And like I said, you don't even have to mix this, because once this builds pressure, it's going to just circulate and it's going to just infuse everything into your little seeds. All the hemp's going to be fully split. All the milo and other seeds from the bird seed, those are going to be fully prepared. You'll be really surprised what 45 minutes in a pressure cooker will do. So let's go get the lid. We're going to take some video of this on the stove and I'll show you the whole process there. And then we'll come back later. Okay, we're out in the kitchen right now. I just want to show you the pressure cooker. Like I said before, it's a 6-quart pressure cooker. And let me show you this feature here. This little notch popper, I guess you would call it. As soon as you seal this on, when it pressurizes, it'll pop up. That way you know it begins. That's when you start your count. So let's put this on and get started. Okay, it just goes like that. It locks into place. And then... Okay, it locks into place. And then we have, this goes over the hole here. And this is going to gently rock back and forth, which I'll show you later. So right now we're going to put this on high. This is going to take about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes till it starts to, you'll hear the pressure start to rise in it. So I'm not going to bore you with that. So I'm going to shut this off right now and I'll show you once it gets closer. Again, it'll be about 10 minutes till that starts. Okay, this has been going for about 12 minutes on high. I don't know if you can hear us or not, but you can hear it bubbling pretty good. The thing's just about to pop up. You can hear it kind of popping up and down. The pressure is just about pushed out of it. It's just about fully pressurized. So let me see if I can show you this here. Right now you can see all the steam coming out of there. Probably within 30 seconds it's going to click into place. So we'll just look at that a second just so you know what to look for when you do this yourself at home. Okay, you see all there it is, it just popped up, and now it's building pressure. Okay, it's just about to start. You can hear a little bit of the moisture coming out. You can see it's slowly starting to rock. Once it's about at the full rock, we're going to start the timer. It's good to have a little, okay, it's rocking pretty good, so we're going to knock it down to low. Knock it down to low, and you can see it's starting to, you want to rock just like that. If it's too violent, it's going to build up too much pressure, and you do not want that because you don't want it to explode. So right now it is 12:23, so 15 minutes from now is when we're going to stop. Right now it's in the cooking process. So actually it just changed it 12:24, so I'm going to start it from there. So at 12:39 we're going to stop and shut off the heat, and then you'll let it rest. It'll take roughly 45 minutes until pressure releases. So this is the correct rocking. You want to stand near this for the full 15 minutes because you don't want too much pressure to build. I do have it on low right now, and this is good. If it starts to not rock around like this, then we want to turn the heat up a little bit just to keep it a consistent pressure. So right now this looks good. You just want a slight rock on it. And again, this is going to be a couple hundred degrees when this is done, so be careful. After the 15 minutes is up, like I said, we're just going to shut off the heat, and then it'll take 45 minutes until the pressure releases out of here. And the little spot that I showed you over here, it just rose up. When the pressure is finished, it'll actually pop back down, which I'll show you that later. That's when you know it's safe to take off the lid. You never want to take it off before then, because you will get burned severely. So right now you can see it's rocking just a little slightly, so I'll just turn the heat up a little bit, maybe 2 or 3. You're never going to put it back on high again. You just want to have a real gradual rocking. So I'm going to stop this here. When 15 minutes is up, all I'm doing is shutting off the heat. Okay, we're back in the garage now. All the pressure has released. The little popper here has dropped, so you know it's safe to take this lid off. Again, I'm going to stress this one more time. This is still going to be a couple hundred degrees inside here, so be careful taking this off. The steam will come up. You don't want to be burning yourself. So let's go take this off. Again, this just unlocks this way. And you can see all the steam just came out. It's still juicy in here. It's better to have more water in here when it's all said and done. That way you know all the particles were properly prepared. You can just kind of mix this around. You can see everything's all split. This is one of the reasons why I have the trout pellets in here also. It's going to absorb all this extra water. So you can see this turned out pretty good. All the hemp, you can see the whites in it. All the bird seed, that's all split. Tiger nut, let me see if I pop one of those in here. Tiger nut, fully prepared, expanded probably about 3 to 4 times its size, so you know those are safe. Okay, I just went and got my bucket. As you can see, it just started to, you can see the pellet's still really hard. It absorbed a little bit, but not too much. So we're ready to, and you can really smell that too. So let's go ahead and pour this in. Again, be careful, it's still very hot. Okay, since it's juicy, it's easy to get all the seeds out. Okay, it's a good idea to have a metal spoon Then also get a fork. They have a bottom divider in here, so I'll take that out. Okay. Right now you can see it's pretty sloppy. So we're just gonna mix this up. Mix this up. That pellet's gonna start to soften up some. Gonna get the camcorder so you can see what this looks like. Alright, let me zoom in here. Look at the mix. It's very nice looking. You can see it's like a milky color. See your specks of corn in there, all different sizes. Let me zoom in here. Let's see if you can see the tiger nuts. They're all swelled up. Look at that. That's probably about 3 to 4 times from original. All the hemp. So let me zoom back out. Basically, let this rest for just a minute or two. Okay, let me set back up here. All right, now I personally don't like to have it too sloppy. So what I'm going to do is get some trout pellets. So this is 2 cups. I'm just going to put that in. Basically, you're just going to keep adding a little bit of pellet. You can even use ground bait if you want. You're just trying to stodge it up a little bit so it thickens it. And keep in mind this is really hot, so it's going to scald those pellets, and it's going to work out very nicely. Okay, it's still really soupy. So I got another 2 cups. Okay, that's starting to feel pretty good there. Keep in mind this is still going to keep cooking. And all that juice is going to absorb into the pellet. So you can still see a little soup in there, but not much. What you want to do now is just get a lid. So we're going to do that. With these pickle buckets, that's what I'm using. You can get any type of bucket as long as it's thicker so it doesn't melt it. It has a rubber seal around it. Just put this on right now. Seal it up. It's going to hold in that heat. It's going to continue to cook in there. That way till you get out to the lake, it's going to be good to go. It's going to be thick, but not overly thick. Once it hits, you spot it out. You can use a catapult, throwing stick, whatever you want to do. When you use like a spomb, I use a little cup to scoop it in, put it into the spomb, that way it doesn't interfere with the mechanism. When you cast that out, even though it's no longer soupy, the ingredients in here will really spread on the bottom. One of the biggest reasons I've been adding the bloodworm, that's just a natural food found in many lakes. Carp have a tendency to root up seeds off the bottom. This is just going to make them stay there that much longer. When I first initially made this mix, I spot out the same amount, and I came back probably a day later when they finally found it, and there's fish after fish just crashing and rolling over this spot. So it'll hold fish there for a good 24 to 30 hours, I'd say. But this is enough for like maybe a 6, 7, 8 hour session, something like that, depending on how much you use, and obviously how many fish are in the area and how much activity you have. So hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be doing some other videos, but as of right now, this is good to go. Let it sit for maybe an hour. If it's still soupy, you can add more pellet, and like I said, you can add ground bait, whatever you like. I didn't add tuna into this, but you can add that. I like to do that sometimes. But that's a pretty standard mix, and like I said, pressure cooker, it's the way to go. About an hour and a half later, we're ready to get out to the lake and go fishing instead of sitting around watching stuff soak, waiting 2 days, even 3 days to make a mix. So, hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Come back to the channel for more stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of beginner stuff and even some more advanced stuff, but just putting it out there, very basic, showing every single ingredient, how to do it, make it as easy as possible for the new carper or even somebody who's been doing this for a long time. So until next time, I'm Brian Wingard. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.